Hello and welcome to YTech. In this video, we are going to talk about RGB and the probability that it will make your rig 10 times faster than what it is supposed. No, it's not going to raise your FPS. So first things first, with RGB, there are actually two kinds in the market. One is a 12 volt connector and one is a 5 volt connector. And in the market, usually 12 volts are RGB fans and the 5 volts are ARGB fans. So RGB is the short form for red, green, blue, the three primary colors in lighting that you would use to create different kinds of hues of lighting in your particular lighting setup. So ARGB is the short form for addressable RGB. Usually for addressable RGB, you are able to create different kinds of effects with it, so you can actually have one strip of lighting, but you can have different colors on it, while the normal 12 volt RGB, you actually can't do that. So what I have with me right now is an ARGB fan, and just to show you guys what a 3-pin is, this is basically the 3-pin, and also there is the 3-pin connector as well, so you can actually put the 3-pin into this kind of socket. So as you can see on the camera, ARGB stuff usually has that little gap in between all the pins, so there is one pin and then there's a gap and then there are two pins. So usually ARGB has this layout so that people don't actually shove in like the RGB, the 12 volt, into this kind of connector. If you somehow manage to plug in the 12 volt 4-pin into the 5 volt 3-pin, because I don't know, maybe the connector has the extra holes, but even though it has the extra holes, it is actually 5 volts. If you connect those, it will short something out. So most likely your controller will go boom, or your lighting LED rig, your fan whatsoever will also go boom. So just to summarize, 12 volt RGB, just plug it into the 12 volt connector. The 5 volt ARGB, just connect it into the ARGB connector. Not too sure if you can see on camera, but there is an arrow right here which indicates how you are supposed to plug in into your ARGB connector. The 12 volt RGB connectors also has this arrow, but technically it is more important for the 12 volt one, because on the 5 volt one, if you take a look at this, the arrow is here, right? There are two connectors where the arrow is. So usually you will not be mistaken when you plug it in into something else. But for the 12 volt, you got to actually see where the arrow is. And if you have another connector, make sure the arrow is aligned to this one so you can actually plug it in. Because if you plug it that way, the same thing will happen. It will also short out your lighting strip or whatsoever. But these days, a lot of things that are out there are mostly ARGB, so you are pretty much safe, unless if you find that there is a 4-pin, then do your research and make sure that you are actually connecting it to the correct panel or the correct connector. Now, that is the basics of RGB. There are actually multiple connectors out there that are made by different companies that are proprietary, which means only that company uses those connectors for some reason, but technically they still perform the same. So there are a lot of companies out there that actually make RGB peripherals like Corsair, NZXT and all of that. And you might notice that when you buy something like Corsair fans, their RGB connectors are actually not like this. It is not this at all. It is some proprietary wire that they use that you can connect to like the Corsair hub, and then you can connect it to your computer. And then there is also NZXT, which uses another proprietary connector that is not similar to Corsair. And those are just the two major companies that make RGB fans. There are a lot of other RGB fans out there. So stuff like this is the EKWB, EK Vada fans. They actually use a normal connector like this I just showed you just now. And this you can actually plug in straight into your motherboard without any kind of controller or whatsoever like the Corsairs. And you can activate it straight from your motherboard. So do go out and research if you want to buy like light strips for your computer or RGB fans, and make sure that you can actually plug them into your computer and control it via the motherboard, or if you are one of those that are able to control it via a controller, make sure you are able to wire all of those RGB into that controller itself. This kind of stuff I actually wish I could show you, but there are so many variants out there, it is just mind-boggling. So just go online, research the fans. If you really like the particular look of the fans, go and research whether those connectors are able to be plugged into your motherboard or if you need an external controller. Now, when it comes to controlling your RGB, there are 3 kinds of methods. So the simplest of all of these 3 is actually using a controller or a hub. So what this controller does is that you can plug in all your RGBs and all your light strips and all that stuff into the controller, and when you just click a button, it will turn on, and when you just use like the functions on the hub itself, you can change the lighting to whatever you want, and it totally has no effect whatsoever on your computer, or you don't need to use any kind of software. So basically you can just leave like the controller on your table and you can just click it and you can just change the lighting whenever you like it. The second way is to control your RGB using your motherboard. So your motherboard usually will have pins for you to connect like this layout into your computer, and in turn even the 4-pin 12-volt one as well. And once you plug it in, all you need to do is to download your motherboard software. Let's say if you are using an Asus motherboard, you can go and download AuraSync. If you're using MSI, you can use Dragon Center. And once you download those software into your computer, you can actually configure your lighting and LEDs and all of that on your software itself, and it will change the stuff on your computer basically. Do note, when you are using this to connect to your motherboard, make sure if let's say you daisy chain all your LEDs and stuff, make sure you're not overloading your motherboard. The rule of thumb usually is that one single RGB connector or ARGB connector on your motherboard, try not to exceed 60 LEDs. So like this fan has 9 LEDs. So what I want to do is that I will probably not put more than 7 of this in it. I think that's correct. 9 times 7 is 63. Okay, so maybe not. I will put in 6 at max. And some motherboards come with multiple headers, so you can actually plug in 60 on one header and then another maybe light strip, which amounts to another 60 LEDs on another header itself. Or sometimes you can actually buy a controller that you can plug all of this into the controller itself, and then just use one wire to plug it into your motherboard so that your motherboard can actually send signals to change all the colors and stuff, but that controller itself is actually powered by your power supply. I think Cooler Master has one. I also think that ID Cooling has one, so do go research before you actually buy one of those things. And the third way to control your RGB is to download the proprietary software that is made specifically for the LEDs or the fans that you bought. So what I mean is that if you bought Corsair fans and Corsair LEDs, just download iCUE and you are able to control all of your Corsair stuff from iCUE itself. And NZXT has their NZXT Cam, so you can actually control NZXT's lighting from that software itself. Usually software like that will take up some resources on your computer, so you actually might want to figure out what software you actually need to control all of your RGB. And when you're going out to buy all this RGB stuff, try your best not to mix like Corsair, NZXT and this normal one, and don't mix all of them, because technically you can, but when it comes to controlling all of that, you probably need different kinds of software, so you gotta open like, I don't know, 3 or 4 programs just to control the RGB of your computer, and it will probably hog your system. So what I personally usually do is that I will buy everything off one certain brand, and let's say if I have things like this and I need to connect it to iCUE for some reason, I will try my best to buy a connector for this 3-pin, so something like an adapter that I can connect this to the iCUE system or the Corsair controller, so that I can actually control this through iCUE, because I do not want to have like multiple programs open at one point of time controlling my RGB. If you personally do not mind having multiple programs open on your computer, then that's fine. You can actually go out and buy multiple different RGB things. But for me, because I'm using my computer for a lot of other different things as well, I do not want to have my computer being hogged by like 4 programs just because of RGB. So I'm trying to get everything synced into one single ecosystem. So yeah, those are the few things that you gotta watch out for when trying to make your rig look nice with all those RGB and stuff, because programs will hog your computer, and there are some things online that are pretty hilarious. You know, people with insane RGB setups, but everything else in the computer is potato. And nothing wrong with that, but that's where the meme is born, that your RGB will probably give you 100 FPS more than what you already have in your computer. But in reality, obviously that is not the case, and if I must say that it actually takes away performance from your computer because the program is busy hogging everything else in your computer, trying to make the RGB run right. So do have a think about what you want to put in your computer and whether RGB is actually worth it to you. Not to mention that a lot of RGB stuff is just way overly priced. So hopefully this has helped you a little bit with understanding how this ARGB, RGB ecosystem works, and if you actually really need it in your computer. There are a lot of rigs out there that looks absolutely stunning even without any RGB in them. So if you're planning to build a rig with RGB, just have a think about what you want to buy and whether everything can correlate together, whether all of it can be synced together, and also if you would probably not want your system to be hogged, if you want like maximum performance, try your best to keep everything in one single program. And if you prefer performance over looks, then don't bother with RGB. So that's all for this video of YTech. Hopefully it has helped you, and I'll see you in the next video.
Yeah!